Yo, what is going on, growmies? Hope y'all are doing well, growing well. Now, growmies, welcome to episode 2 of the new Sea of Green series. If you guys haven't seen episode 1, check out episode 1 first. Anyways, in episode 1, we left off at a very critical step in growing cannabis, which happens to be the first steps, aka germination. To germinate these seedlings, I had to go with the tried and true, ultimate classic germination method of seed directly into soil. Except this time, growmies, for the first time in years since I can remember, it was not entirely fail-proof. Dun, dun, dun. Around 72 hours, as per usual, most of the seeds did sprout completely above ground, but didn't fully finish until day 4. On day 4, the strains that have germinated with a 100% success rate are All Gas OG, Frosted Pies, and Golden Sands. Which strains had germination issues? Regarding Bigfoot glue, I did a slight investigation to see what happened to the last seed and found that the helmet got stuck on the seedling and died. I'm not really bummed about it because it is nature and you can't guarantee for every single seed to sprout forever. But as all of us growmies know, these genetics are not cheap and just keep getting more expensive. The freebies I received for my over $125 order was only 3 banana melts, and only 1 sprouted, which kinda sucks. I guess it all did even out, but the deal does feel a little bit better from a consumer standpoint when your freebie genetics are also just as vigorous. We did get at least 1 banana melt, so that is better than nothing. Not getting fooled twice, no shame on me. In my primary colors of cannabis series, I started some seedlings in cowpots, which just dry out really fast. For this grow, I wanted to see if I can make the cowpots work, but only after 1 to 2 days, I said screw the cowpots and went with some plastic containers. Since the seeds just started, transplanting was not difficult at all and pretty seamless for the most part. Now, I'm not gonna lie, growmies, I did set my hopes really high for these plastic containers and envisioned that they would hold water much longer and grow bigger plants. As the plants were continuing to grow, I realized that these small pots are just gonna dry out fast regardless and won't give me the size plants I want/need. Adding more root space and getting crafty. Growmies. Since I'm growing in lightweight organic micro coco and then transplanting to organic soil, right from the start, I should have just purchased round 3-inch containers that would have held a decent amount of medium for starting strong small plants. To be fair though, when I bought the plastic containers online, I honestly expected that the medium would last longer. Since this is a small amount of HP Pro Mix Micro Coco, there isn't a ton of nutrients available. After about 2 weeks, I decided it's finally time to move these girls over to what I actually wanted to start them in. A fellow growmie recommended that I should try out these little 1-gallon biodegradable disposable pots instead of the fabric pots, as the fabric pots can start to hold a lot of minerals and toxins over time and just get kinda hard to wash out. I usually do wash my fabric pots, but honestly do notice how they can start to feel off the longer they go without being washed. Plus, it's always fun to just try something new and experiment. Anyways, now these pots, like I said before, are 1-gallon sized, but that's what I want to use for the final transplant. So I decided to roll the pot down in half and clip a few inches off the diameter. Now that we have our pot set up, it's time to transplant and check out the root systems of these girls. Now, part of this series is pheno hunting out the pack of seeds, so we'll be comparing and looking at each plant from each strain. All Gas OGA. This plant is looking to be one of the strongest growing seedlings in the tent, and also has a quite nice distributed growth structure. All Gas OGB. This All Gas OG looks like a wrinkled spinach plant and has these stout little broadleaf structures. I'm quite excited to see how this plant grows big, and I love looking at broadleaf varieties. All Gas OGC. Now this plant looks pretty solid for a seedling, but is definitely in the middle of the crowd when it comes to vigor, height, etc. Golden Sands C. The stem is quite tough and the plant is growing a touch faster compared to most of the other seedlings. Golden Sands B. Just like one of the All Gas OGs, this Golden Sands has some stout round leaves and looks pretty unique with the tip of the leaves not being sharply pointed. I have grown similar leaf structures to this one, but not exact. Definitely a unique trait. Golden Sands A. The last seedling of this bunch is looking like the smallest one. With the transplant, hopefully it'll grow out more and catch up a bit. Frosted Pies A. The seedling is growing pretty strong and has some whirly looking leaves. Even with some dry periods here and there are no deficiencies, so that's good to know. Frosted Pies B. Just like A, Frosted Pies B is growing quite strong, but I notice it's not growing completely symmetrical with the branch spacing. This is definitely an interesting detail and will be exciting to watch the plant develop. Frosted Pies C. Alright growmies, I'ma just play the live clips of this transplant so you guys can see what happens.
Poor Ponzo. I said we dropped Frosted Pies on its head. It snapped. Okay, we gotta hurry up and fix it. Fuck. That's sad. Okay. Now, to fix this plant, all I'm gonna do... Oops. Okay, I'm gonna have to take off some leaves. So I'm gonna take these off. Take that off. This one might die, I hope it doesn't. And then... Alright, look growmies, you know, sometimes we make mistakes. Lesson learned, it's taped up, it's gonna be fine.
So, at this young of a stage, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty worried and felt bad that I just snapped one of the plants that I got from a grommie. For some reason, the medium was stuck in the pot and then unexpectedly fell out. Instead of getting mad or disappointed, I collected my thoughts and wanted to figure out what I can do to save its life. Really quickly, I ran and got some Gorilla Glue tape and connected the main stem back together. Luckily, due to the quick diligence of saving this plant, by the next day, it was completely healed. Homegrown Zone didn't ask me to do stress planing on his plants, but here we are. Bigfoot Glue, the 2 for 3 deal. Bigfoot Glue A. One of the healthiest looking plants in the tent with multiple nodes and developing larger fan leaves. I am extremely looking forward to seeing how this plant will veg out. Bigfoot glue B. A little bit more on the runty side compared to the other Bigfoot glue, but it's still super early, so we'll see how it comes out. Banana melt. Growmies. Honestly, the germination rate method of seed directly into soil has been like 300 seeds before these two failed to germ. Normally, I don't really pop too many freebies, but this time, since we're growing small plants, I decided why not? And man, when I actually wanted to grow this tester strain, only one popped. I am grateful to get at least one seed to germinate, especially since the one that did pop is growing as one of the fastest plants. This is a sativa plant, so I'm really wondering how tall it'll get and how many sativa leaning traits it has. Back to the 4x3 tent. After a few days of being in their pots, the new growth has been a great vibrant green color that we're looking for. The plan is to keep watering until these roots fill up the pots, and then once the plants get tall enough, we'll be taking clones and then transplanting to 1-gallon pots and going straight to flower. When is episode 3 coming out? To recap, this was the second episode of the Sea of Green series where an update was given on the germination and seedling stages. Episode 3 will come out in a few weeks as the plants continue to grow in their new homes. Anyways, if you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you for watching. If you haven't seen my other grow/mocha reports, check them out. Keep it up out there, growmies, and stay motivated in this beautiful medicinal hobby. #growmiegang.